Okay, section 2.7 is all about cycloalkanes. Let's talk more about these. All right, the smallest cycloalkane, obviously, is a three-membered ring. You can't get any smaller than a three-membered ring, cycloalkane. That is called Cyclo Propane. Okay? Naming it, very simple. It's an alkane. It's 3 carbons, so it's a propane, and it's in a cyclical form. Cyclopropane. Not too tough on that one. 4 carbon, cyclobutane, cyclopentane, cyclohexane, cycloheptane, cyclooctane, cyclononane, so forth and so on. Very simple. Okay, these are going to be our parent compounds. So to continue with the naming, let's say we have this compound. Very simple. This is our substituent. Our parent is a cyclopentane. So this would be methyl cyclopentane. Okay, if you have a chlorine, chlorocyclopentane. All right, whatever group you have. If you have more than one group, let's do a 6-membered ring. Let's say you have 2 groups. Let's say we have a Cl here, and let's say we have one of these groups. All right, we learned that in the previous chapter. Notice we have 2 different groups. All right, I have one here. This is a chloro, and then I have a group here. Do you remember what the name of that group is? Remember, that's an isomer of one of the groups. This was called an isopropyl group. All right, my parent chain obviously is cyclohexane. So what do? We now have to number. We got to number the molecule to let the reader know where all the groups are. Okay. So how do you number it? You number it alphabetically when you have 2 groups. Whichever one alphabetically is first is the way you number it. So my chloro obviously comes first. So this is going to be carbon 1. All right. Now, as far as the rest of the counting, in this case, it doesn't matter which way you go. Now, you don't go clockwise, you don't go counterclockwise. You go the direction that gives you the smallest number. Okay? Count in the direction that gives the smallest number. Okay, now like I said, in this case, it doesn't matter which way you count, you're going to get the 4 either way. Okay, so the name of this would be 1 chloro, 4 isopropyl, cyclohexane. Okay, let's do another one just to kind of show you this. Let's put a bromine here, and let's just put a methyl group right there. Okay, so we have a bromo, and we have a methyl. Bromine alphabetically becomes for M, so this is position 1, and you go in the direction that gets to the closest or the lowest numbers, so that means this would be carbon 2. So the name of it is 1 bromo, 2 methyl cyclopentane. Okay? Now what happens if you have more than one group? So let's do a 7-membered ring. Those sometimes are hard to draw. Okay. I'm going to take the example out of the book because I think they explain it very well in the book. I'm going to explain it like how they explain it in the book. Okay. So notice I got 3 groups. Okay. And the question is, where do I start counting? Okay. With 2 groups, it's alphabetical. When you have more than 2 groups, it's no longer alphabetical. The rule is you go by whichever gives you the lowest numbering system. Okay? So, there's lots of places I can start. Okay? You're obviously going to start on one of these substituents. So let's say I start at the methyl here. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, my substituents are at the 1 position, the 3 position, and the 4 position. Okay, alphabetizing has nothing to do with this yet. Don't say, well, this is the ethyl, so I'm supposed to start there. That's only if you have 2 substituents. If you have more, then you have to do the lowest number. So that gives me a 1, a 3, and a 4. Let's say I start at the ethyl. Let's say we call that carbon 1. Here's carbon 2. Then there's 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be a 1, 2, 6. Well, 1, 2, 6, that 6 is a higher number than 4. So far this 1, 3, 4 is working good. Let's go the opposite direction. Let's start at the methyl at the bottom. So let's count this as carbon 1. This is carbon 2. This is 3. And this is 4. That gives us 1, 2, 4. That is the lowest possible numbers that I can get. This is 1, 3, 4. 3 is higher than the 2. So 1, 2, 4 is the lowest numbering system I have in this case. So that is how I'm going to number my molecule. So let me redraw it. And like I said, they have an example. It's on page 59. If you want to watch this on page 59, they have this. So CH3, CH2, CH3, and CH3. So the numbering would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now when you name it alphabetical. Okay? So more rules. So this would be called 2-ethyl. Now notice I have 2 methyl groups, so I have to use di in here. So 1,4-dimethyl cycloheptane. Okay? So that's how you name it.